I never go to sleep this early.
Oh, you know what you should do? You should shut the fuck up.
Real tattoo artist. Your work is mad inconsistent. Obama ain't right.
So, like, I could do those parts, and, like, also, like, back when Shakespeare was writing.
Shit, man. What are you doing here? You fucking protecting the ghosts of dead orphans?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my channel's first actual video, and I'm going to be reviewing The King of Staten Island. There's been a decent amount of hype for this movie. I myself was very hyped because it looked like it was going to be terrible, and I love myself a good bad movie, but to my surprise, it actually wasn't that bad. Judd Apatow has always been a bit of a worry for me. He's produced and has helped write some good comedies, but I haven't enjoyed a single movie he's directed. I especially hated Trainwreck, and judging by the trailer and concept of this movie, I thought it would be very similar. Except I find Pete Davidson actually funny, and Bill Burr is in it.
The Jets are gonna come back!
So even if it was terrible, I thought I could at least enjoy it as a piece of shit, but it wasn't. Now I won't be spoiling this film right away for those who haven't seen it, but something to keep in mind, this movie really isn't a comedy. It was marketing itself as a dramedy, and there were some attempts at humor for the audience, but humor mostly seemed to be there to create a natural feeling scene, which is something to appreciate when the film treats its comedy as funny to the characters and not the audience. It's definitely more of a drama, but I didn't really take it seriously either. This was mostly due to the pacing of the characters' arcs. Every time a character changed their mind, I was very confused. It was all sudden, and it isn't helped by the fact that the film has no sense of time. I don't recall the characters explaining how long the story takes place, but it seems like it could be a week and a half. The overall weakest element is the writing. There's a lot of pointless scenes, and the dialogue is very ham-fisted and unsubtle. The writing for the child characters was especially bad. They kind of feel like stupid adults. A lot of the performances were very surface level and kind of annoying. Before I get into spoilers, I'd like to share what I did enjoy about the movie. I thought Pete Davidson did a really confident and natural performance considering what the script was. Good thing considering he wrote it. Most of the supporting cast did just fine. I also appreciate what nuance was in the film, especially when it came to the drugs the main character was using, although an issue isn't treated as the main problem. There were lots of other plot issues I had, and I'm about to get into those. You can skip to my rating at the end. Go, 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 go. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of pointless scenes in this movie. At the start, there's this whole scene where we learn the dynamic between the main character and his closest friends, and there's another scene later where the whole conversation is of their friend talking to a girl that may be a catfish. This goes on for some time, as if it has something to do with the bigger story. The girl eventually shows up only to show that she's real. It's after nearly 2 hours of not mentioning it, or affecting the main story, so what was the point of that long time wasting scene? I've been trying to think of a forced explanation, but I can't come up with something. It was pointless. The tattooing scene comes out of nowhere. There's a really sudden emphasis on the fact that Pete Davidson needs to practice, and because of this, you know something is about to happen. Bill Burr's son shows up asking for a tattoo, and of course the kid talks nothing like a child and more like a stupid adult. Kids are dumb, but stop treating them as plot devices. Of course, this is the incident that starts the main conflict with Bill Burr's character. All I'm thinking is, why is this kid alone? Is he just kind of hanging out by himself? Why not? But he walks on set like he's lost. It seems like the only direction he was given was, yeah, just walk over there and say your lines. There was also a love interest that was literally just there to be the love interest. It's the classic, yeah, we're a thing, but not really a thing situation. If you've seen a drama about a guy messing up, you can expect a scene where he follows his girlfriend out into the street as he yells at her trying to apologize, and then she has the last word and walks away. This scene presentation is beyond cliche. The relationship between Bill Burr and Marisa Tomei is very forced. It only exists to upset the main character, and it's fine if that's its purpose in the film, but it doesn't really mean anything beyond that. And the film makes it seem like they're a full-fledged couple in a matter of days, which I'm not saying is impossible, but we don't ever understand why. Maybe if we had a scene where we learn why they like each other. There is a part where they actually go out, and the dialogue is so poorly written that Bill Burr has to say, yes, I'm flirting with you. The whole situation is basically, 1 minute I'm yelling at you because your son tattooed my kid, and the next is, I'm flirting with you. They basically used loneliness as a plot device. And if that wasn't ridiculous enough, when they break up, it comes across as hilarious. Pete Davidson and Bill Burr get into a comical fight, and the mom catches them and starts yelling. When Bill Burr tries to explain himself, she says something like, you've tried to convince me that you're a nice person, but you're not. What the fuck? I thought you two hit it off. What were the clues that led you to believing he's a shitty person? Was it that your son got dirt on him from Bill Burr's ex-wife? But what more did you learn about him? Was Pete the one that told you? Because what reason do you have to believe him? Did this bother anybody else? I guess you can just write women as a plot device in your movies. I guess it's not weird when they act so irrational. One part with the mom that I thought was great was after she kicks her son out, he comes back to her trying to explain that he's cleaned up his act after a really cheesy montage at a fire station. She pretends like they're gonna go talk outside, but just locks the door on him. Although sudden, it makes sense and it was funny. It's reasonable to assume at this point that she would do that, and her reaction shows a change in motivation. Although still sudden, was a nicely presented scene. There's one last scene that really got under my skin. This guy strolls up to the fire station with a massive wound in his stomach, and as the situation was beginning, I was like, oh shit, okay, this is kind of intense, but also a little bit funny. But by the time they get the guy to a hospital, it takes forever for them to get a doctor. And the whole time I'm sitting there pissed. Why isn't the nurse helping? If you've ever been to a hospital where someone in critical condition tries getting a doctor, they get their ass a doctor very quickly. The fact that the lady at the desk did nothing until Bill Burr showed up is stupid. That lady should be fired if someone from the fire department had to tell her to do her job. How the hell did you get hired in the first place? Of course, the reason this happens is so there can be some unfunny banter between the guy with the wound and our main character, so basically pointless. Lastly, it was kind of annoying after seeing the character not grow naturally the whole time for the film to eventually end on a hopeful note, because he really didn't earn any of it. That's all I really wanted to say about the plot. Although I have my issues with the film, I can't really say I hated it. I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy this movie, and I was fairly entertained while watching it. I probably won't ever see it again, because it's not really my thing, and the more I think about the movie, the more I say in my head, yeah, it was fine. Not my kind of thing, but I'm sure plenty of people will like it. I'd say watch it if it's the kind of movie you think you're going to enjoy, because you most likely will. Maybe you think you won't like it and might find it mildly entertaining. Like me. Quarantine sucks, but at least this movie is something worth watching once. I'm gonna give this a 6 out of 10. 5 to me is average, so go see it, or don't. Not a landmark film, but why not? Hello guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I hope this gives you a good start of understanding of my standards on film. I'm also going to be doing some funny videos about video games you probably haven't seen or heard of, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to subscribe and comment on what you thought of The King of Staten Island. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you agree or disagree with my thoughts? Tell me below and I might just respond to keep the conversation going. Okay, bye.